Welcome back, all my viewers and listeners, and welcome back to the third episode. Um, yeah, I'm happy to be back. I hope you didn't all wait too long. All basically meaning me. Well, actually, it's been an interesting week since the last podcast, and a week full of Champions League games. And a treat it was. We had around 10 games on Tuesday, 10 games on Wednesday. Some big ones, such as Girona versus Liverpool. We had Borussia Dortmund against Barcelona. Of course, Atalanta against Real Madrid. And some other big ones, which I'm going to discuss today with you listeners. On Tuesday, let's look at all the games. So we had the Scottish Celtic against Dinamo Zagreb, Girona versus Liverpool, Brest versus PSV. Of course, who doesn't like Brest? Shakhtar Donetsk versus Bayern Munich. We have Club Brugge against Sporting. RB Salzburg versus Paris Saint-Germain, RB Leipzig versus Aston Villa, Leverkusen against Inter, Atalanta versus Real Madrid to close off the Tuesday. But it doesn't end there, of course. No, we have Wednesday games as well, starting with Atletico Madrid against Bratislava. Not the most interesting one, and the next one is even less interesting. Lille, LOSC Lille against Sturm Graz. Benfica versus Bologna. AC Milan versus Crvena Zvezda. Pretty well, I pronounced that perfectly. Then we have the BVB Dortmund against Barca, die Gelbe Wand. Feyenoord against Sparta Prague. And then we have Juve against Man City, another big game. Stuttgart against Young Boys. Arsenal versus Monaco. So what you'll be hearing today is let's have a look at the biggest ones and the most interesting matches. We have some interesting football news. We have a look at how the Champions League table actually currently looks like. And perhaps a bit more if I run out of top picks during the Champions League games and I want to share my mind on some other interesting facts and news that we had this week. But basically, let's just jump right into the Champions League games, starting the ones from Tuesday. Let's talk about the first one, Girona versus Liverpool. Liverpool won 1-0, but actually it could have been 0-0. They won with a penalty that they received, but I have to say it was a fair penalty, and they deserved that penalty. So, meaning Liverpool basically continues to be unbeaten, winning 6 out of 6. It was the English number one against the Spanish number 9. Came into the meets not only being unbeaten, but actually winning all games and having only one goal against. And yeah, they continued. So they're top of the league at the moment, having 6 games, 6 unbeaten, so full 18 points with only one goal against. And having a look at the Girona, won only 1 out of 5 games and having a goal difference is -5. But for the ones and for the viewers that actually look at the match, if you look at the first half, actually Liverpool was not outplaying Girona, and Girona had plenty and plenty of good shots on target. Thank God for the goalkeeper of Liverpool, making sure that nothing went in. But then going into the second half, Liverpool got a fair penalty and converted from the spot. Salah converted from the 11-meter spot. And that meant that Liverpool won the game with 1-0. So yeah, good from Liverpool. They're doing very well, not only in the Champions League, but also in the Premier League. Arne Slot, yeah, had some big boots to fill after Klopp, but managing so far pretty well. Then let's look at the other game. We have Brest versus PSV. Now, there's only one reason I took this game into the highlights of this podcast because it's not the biggest club if you look at it, Brest versus PSV, but who doesn't like Brest? I love Brest, even when they're not that big. So the first big chances looking at this game came from PSV, but Brest stood firm. I mean, this game is all about punts. And I wrote these punts down because I'm going to forget because yeah, this is the only reason I took this game and Brest into these into this podcast. But if you then look at the game, Brest had their chance in the end of the first half via free kick, scored the goal. And yeah, from that moment on, Brest grew and grew more into the game. I hope you like all these Brest goals because that was the last one. Or do you want more? No, that's enough Brest jokes. I like Brests, especially when we have two, but okay. With one Brest, and I hope they stay in so we can continue the Brest jokes. All right, I'll stop. I'll stop. Then have a look at Shakhtar Donetsk versus Bayern Munich. I took this game because it has some controversies. Scoreline predicts what everybody would have predicted, Bayern Munich winning. Bayern Munich winning with plenty of goals. They scored five against Shakhtar Donetsk one, but actually Shakhtar Donetsk took the lead, and that already in the fifth minute. I think the defenders were not placed very well, positional completely out of it, and one through ball had the left striker going again one on one first on another defender that came running back, but through with the through ball they were then in such a well positioned position that they just had the shot on goal and they led the game in the fifth minute already, but it didn't take long because only 6 minutes later Bayern scored one against one. So, and that was first half. First half, not much. And then the second half came, and the second half came with a disallowed goal for blocking the goalie. Now, I've seen that, and I've seen it in the highlights. And in all fairness, I'm a bit lost. I do not understand it while blocking the goalie. He was not in his way. Well, of course, you tried to block the goalie a little bit, but there was nothing. That was absolutely nothing. And I think, in all fairness, the goalie as well as Shakhtar Donetsk were surprised by themselves that they had the goal disallowed. Because as a football player, you look at that and then you see that it's not really blocking the goalie, and the goalie had plenty. He would not have reached the ball. So very controversial. Not a goal then, and a disallowed goal. Not understandably a lot. In my opinion, full on bollocks. Anyway, they won, so not a big criteria to talk about. But they got a penalty a bit later. In my opinion, also bollocks. What happened basically was there was a shot on target. Defender tried to block the shot. And while blocking the shot, after the striker of Bayern Munich shot it, the defender actually hit the striker. So, in my opinion, this is not should not have been a penalty, as the striker already kicked the ball, had a shot on target, and just after the shot, the defender hit the striker. Full on bullshit, in my opinion. But anyway, I'm not a, I don't play top league, and I'm not a referee, so whatever. And who cares? They won 5-1 because after that, and they just continued shooting the goals and having the shots on target. I must say the last goal was quite wonderful. It was a bit Messi-esque, a big dribble, I think around 5 or 6 players of Shakhtar Donetsk. Maybe they were in the mood of giving up anyway, so they said, "Ah, here, have a nice goal for your career statistics." But no, wonderful goal, wonderful dribble, and yeah, great finish. So I would recommend for the people that are watching this or listening to this podcast to watch it back. Again, it could only be me. Okay, anyway. Tuesday isn't finished actually. We have a bit more. And one more game I picked out as a highlight, which is Atalanta against Real Madrid. In Atalanta throughout the last recent years, they've grew and have become more and more, yeah, stronger into the game, more present into the Champions League and European football. I mean, I don't think one could have imagined that a couple of years ago. But they're doing quite well. And actually, against Real Madrid, the scoreline set 2-3, and they got really into the game. And they were not sitting back and had Real Madrid have all the chances. No, they were playing actually quite well. Even though in the 10th minute, beautiful goal from Mbappe. I think he's also slowly but surely getting more into the game, and getting his feet on the ground and getting used to the playing style perhaps with Real Madrid. I mean, it's not He's not on the same playing level as he was with Paris Saint-Germain, but on the other hand, this would take time. I mean, he's not going to get on the same level as Messi or Ronaldo, Cristiano for that matters, or even Brazilian Ronaldo. He was in another league. But slowly but surely he's getting into the game. Um, and yeah, great goal in the 10th minute. He took the ball gorgeously immediately with the first touch around the defender. Defender was absolutely grounded to the ground, couldn't move. And yeah, then after that beautiful touch, he just had to pass it right back next to the keeper into the goal. And yeah, but that in the 10th minute, Real Madrid took the league, Los Blancos. Not much happened then further in the first 45 minutes, except till the end, where Atalanta got a penalty. And again, a fair penalty, this one. Deserved, plenty deserved. The defender of Real Madrid just, yeah, took the striker of Atalanta to the ground. He was late to the ball. And then they converted from the spot. And yeah, great for Atalanta to, with this feeling of equalizing, going back into the chambers, into the locker room, and get out for the second half. And for the second half, instead of having two goals, we had, let me just count that, three goals. So a bit more exciting second half. It was a very attractive match to watch because, as I said, Atalanta was not sitting back and having Real Madrid just pounding at them. No, no, they were doing very well. And the only thing that bothers me from watching that back, that game, and just most probably for the commentators as well, is there's a player at Atalanta whose name is, what is this? Lookman. I mean, that must be very, very annoying. I mean, of course, for the Italian commentators, they don't know, but just the entire time, oh, look, man. What look, man? All right, look, man. Look, man. All right. I mean, this could be very annoying. It's like, look, man. Or I don't know, could it just be me? But yes, it's pretty annoying. I mean, maybe it's not as annoying as having the first name of Dick. Oi, Dick. Oi, Dick. Oi, massive Dick. Especially when you're fat. Oi, big Dick. Nah, I mean, when you're tall, perhaps tall Dick. Tall cock. I don't think cock is a name. But anyway, bit annoying, but lovely, lovely match to watch. And looking then at the rest of Tuesday, what did we have? Yeah, we have some other games, but didn't took them in the highlights for this podcast. We had Bruges winning 2-1 against Sporting Lisbon. Both Red Bulls are losing points. Red Bull Salzburg losing against Paris Saint-Germain 3-0. Red Bull Leipzig losing against Aston Villa 3-2. And then we have Leverkusen under the reign of, I forgot his name. Should not have said that. Oh, what's that? Oh, Steven Jerry. Steven G. Steven G. Hey. Yeah, Steven Gerrard, no? Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. Leverkusen are winning 1-0 against Inter. So they're doing quite well. And yeah, all right, that was Tuesday. But as I said, we didn't only have Tuesday games, we have Wednesday games. And not small ones, also big ones. So let's start with the big one on Wednesday. Lille against Sturm Graz. Lol. I'm just kidding. I think it's pretty sad that I wrote down this joke anyway, but all right, let's continue. Well, we actually have some exciting games. And I will start off with the BVB against Barcelona. So Dortmund against Barcelona, and this was, in my opinion, the most attractive match to watch. Barcelona winning 3-2 against Dortmund. Um, but for me, just the playing style of seeing Barcelona and that guy Danny Olmo with Lamine Yamal. Oh, I mean, puts my groin on fire. No, I'm just kidding. It came out so wrong. No, but lovely to watch. It's such an attractive playing style, and this maybe it's this kind of tiki-taka growing back and how they lock the opposition in their own half. It's like they find pocket of spaces everywhere which you do not find imaginable. It brings some kind of memories back from 2011, 2012 with Xavi, with Busquets, with Iniesta, which of course you cannot maybe yet compare those guys with them, but it's absolutely wonderful to see Dani Olmo playing and finding pockets of space and turning and seeing other players positioned so well. He's got such a great overview of the playing field. My God, he's really a great player. But yeah, just passes, touches, the way he looks at the game, absolutely wonderful. But even though there was first half, 0 goals. It was eye-watering to watch. Again, I go back on the playing style. Not only that, Dortmund was not also not lying back. They had created some chances. And in my opinion, this match it's an example and why we love Champions League, why we love watching big clubs from one league playing a big club from another league, and it's compare that to Brest versus PSV. This was eye-watering and absolutely lovely. Um, then the game I wanted to say broke open, but it was already an open game. 53rd minute, first goal came Barcelona from their own onwards party, and then afterwards it just back and forward with goals, and it was. I didn't write down any more highlights because this entire game was a highlight. It was yeah, it was the Wednesday, a wonderful Wednesday. Let's call it not okay. Wonderful Wednesday. I'm gonna leave it with that. All right. So definitely for all my viewers again, which is just me, watch that highlights back. And let's have a look for the next Champions League week. Watch a Barcelona game. My recommendations. And so going to the next game, we have the old lady against Man City. I think everybody at this current moment knows that Man City is having some issues with winning. And they took those issues into this game because they lost again, 2-0. Panic at a disco, in my opinion, and not good for the GP of Pep. I hope he has some like facial creams at home because my God, 69% possession and still losing 2-0. That conversion rate of Man City is absolutely horrid. Juve, on the other hand, not a lot of possession, but they were clinical if looking at the finish, and especially the second goal. It's wonderful, absolutely wonderful. So I have to say, plenty of chances for City. They had a good goalie, of course, the old lady in goal, but Juventus was playing absolutely effectively and just simply scoring goals. And they found pocket of spacing. They counted very effectively from the midfield to having the ball in the net from one rebound. Very well done from Juve, and I have to give him all the credits. And yeah, crisis continues in Man City. And talking about Man City, they're going to have an exciting match on Sunday. So this is the day I'm actually recording the podcast against Man United. Now, I would still vote that Man City, with all their qualities, should have Man United in their pocket because the last big game Man United played against it was Arsenal. They lost 2-0. Um, but yeah, they're in such a I don't know, difficult place at the moment and losing so many games in such a crisis that Man United for this time period has a chance. I mean, for Man United, it's the best time to play Man City if you look at all the times they could play them. But anyway, I took for Wednesday one more game into the highlights, which is Feyenoord against Sparta Prague, because I like a bit of small clubs as well, some underdogs. And I took this one regarding the scoreline, 4-2. A six-goal party in the Kuip. As you might hear, I'm Dutch myself as well. And I love, of course, having Dutch clubs making it far into the Champions League. Definitely still remember the Ajax, what was it, a couple of years ago, making it that far against Real Madrid, against Juve, the big teams that they beat. And then unfortunately, yeah, against Tottenham went out. But lovely, when you have such an underdog club. But this was a nice game, especially with final playing at home and the atmosphere around. I noticed actually that I think what was it, 80% of all the people in the Kuip were standing, like almost 90 minutes long. And the sounds that they make and generate while when there's a goal scored in the Kuip is absolutely wonderful. So the atmosphere there, oh, I definitely need to go there once to experience that. Yeah, all the goals happened not long after another. And I must say, the third goal, yeah, gorgeous. Yeah, watch the highlights back. It's a wonderful goal. Cutting it in from the long corner, off the goal, around the corner. He really just like, an airbender. If you see the ball, it's like an airbender from the edge of the box all around the goalie. I thought it went wide, but no, somehow miraculously it got turned all the way in. Wonderful goal. And that's what I took from that game. I just wanted to highlight it, have you guys hear it. Haha, just me. Let's have a look then at the Champions League table. No surprise, I've mentioned it in the beginning. Liverpool unbeaten, 18 points in place one. Second place, we have Barcelona, 3 points behind. So Liverpool is allowed a slip up if you'd like, or a fuck up. And then we have in third place Arsenal with 13 points, so 5 points behind. Looking at place four till eight, so those ones are going straight through. We have Leverkusen, Aston Villa, Inter, Lille, and Brest. I mean, I'm hoping Brest continues, and they're doing well, Brest. Okay, not booby jokes. So far, I'm also putting in some clubs in the elimination zones because I would say there are some clubs which surprisingly are there. Big one, Paris Saint-Germain, the biggest club apparently in France, and they hyped up so much that they're such a big club. Well, they're currently in the elimination zone, and with them are Red Bull. I'm not allowed to say Red Bull. Rasenballsport, I think, or I would just say RB. Never mind. RB Leipzig and Stuttgart. Some bigger clubs from Germany. And close to relegation. Also, a bit surprisingly, we have City, only 1 point away from the relegation zone, and Real Madrid 2 points away. Of course, Champions League is not done yet. And let's see what it brings. This new, yeah, layout of the Champions League. Yeah, it's a bit surprising. So let's see how much I've rattled on. I don't know where. Do I see the time here at one point? Unfortunately not. So I'm going to assume I've been rattling on for around 30 minutes. And I hope you're still with me. I know I'm talking to myself until I have another viewer. I actually took next to the Champions League also some Europa League. There might be some known clubs in there. We have Ajax in there. But if you look at the table there, we have Lazio at 16 points, Athletic Club from Spain also at 16 points. And then, to my surprise, we have Anderlecht at 14 points from Belgium. It might actually be the first time this podcast I mentioned a Belgian club. They're a bit at the same level, maybe a bit lower than the Dutch Eredivisie. If you look at the league table, not league table, the league competitiveness or European competitiveness of the clubs. And then we have the rest of the clubs that all would so far go through immediately. Lyon, Frankfurt, Galatasaray, United. Man United. Sorry, I have United and Rangers. So Man United, so far still doing well in the Europa League. Some scores this week we have Rangers against Tottenham 1-1, Victoria Pilsen against Man U, where Man U won actually. Call it a second half comeback because I remember them losing in the first half against Victoria Pilsen with 1-0. But yeah, besides actually thinking about it, besides actually from Arsenal, Man United is not doing that bad since the bald guy left. Let's have a look. What did I wrote down? 10 games. So if you look back, the last 10 games I had 6 wins, 2 ties, and 2 losses. Now, 2 losses. One was from Arsenal, if I remember correctly. The other one was Nottingham Forest in the Premier League. So Nottingham Forest, one would say, okay, how could they lose against Nottingham Forest? But they're actually doing not that bad and are around sixth place in the Premier League. I can check that. And of course, Arsenal, with their current qualities, they should beat Man United, and Man United is, regarding quality, more. Let's have a look at the Premier League table then. At the same, where is? Oh my God, Nottingham Forest is even in fourth place. Played one more currently than Man City. Okay, Man City is of course playing Man United, but in fourth place they're doing very, very well. Surprising. Wow. Who knows? We might have another, what was it, Leicester City 2015 surprise, although I don't think so that much. because Liverpool's 36 points. Yeah, wow, only one loss. Yeah, Slot Era is doing quite well. And continue about yeah, about Man United. We have the big game this weekend again at Man City. So the Manchester Derby, which is looking quite nice. So that was everything what I have about football. Do I have any news from Formula One? Because I follow that as well. It's one of my hobbies as well, and one of the things that I like. I know that they have the FIFA, no, not FIFA, my God, FIA ceremony. Not much special. Norris redacted his comments that he said it was just luck in Brazil that Max won, and and not because of the abilities, but yeah, everybody knew. Apparently, it was taken out of context. Okay, could be. I mean, that's also media. Uh, yeah, Max, of course, getting the trophy of champion of that season. Constructors trophy went to McLaren. They had some pre-testing immediately done after Abu Dhabi. I think the surprise was that Sainz and Williams was driving that well. Of course, yeah, and I think that was all the news that I had. Of course, one of my main sources for news is well, TikTok. No, I'm sorry. It's just like my brain sometimes needs this stuff. But what I saw as well, they had some. It was some funny, some surprising statistics. If you look at Red Bull, really, I'm going to give you some surprising stats about Checo Perez. He never lost a race that he won. Amazing. 100% Q1 appearances. He was present in every Grand Prix he attended. And not only that, he was one World Drivers' Championship away from becoming a World Drivers' Championship champion. I mean, that's pretty amazing. But I actually had a bit, yeah. Here, I'll give you some more statistics between Verstappen and Checo Perez. And why I'm giving these is because let's be honest, there's 99% chance Checo Perez is not going to make the cut for the 2025 drivers lineup. And I wonder why, because if you have a guy like Max Verstappen as your second driver in the same team, you're going to be struggling. I mean, look at Verstappen versus Gasly, look at Verstappen versus Ricciardo, look at Verstappen versus what else were his team in now? Perez, oh, what's the guy is Albon. He was dominating all of them. I mean, he's a reckless driver, but a very good driver. I mean, since Perez won the 2022 Singapore Grand Prix 2022, he had two race wins compared to Max Verstappen's three World Driver Championships. Um, Perez in 2024 had six Q1 exits, six, compared to Max, five Q1 exits in 8 years. Eight, five, that's less in 8 years, five, compared to Checo's six in 1 year, just this season. It's absolutely incredible. Um, what else do we have? Let me have a look. All-time sprint race winners. Nah, it's very uninteresting. Well, that's well, I would say that's about it. Not much going on currently in the Formula One world. Yeah, Max can enjoy his birthday, grab his penalty points so he can take a maternity leave for his kids. Congratulations, of course. That was of course also a big weekend news. Congratulations to Max Verstappen to become daddy. Yeah, that's great news. And with that amazing news, I'm gonna leave you alone. Uh, that's about it from my side. Hopefully, the next time you hear from me or you see me, I might have I might have increased the audience with 100%, meaning I got two viewers or listeners. But until then, see ya. Bye bye.